communication.
Baugman Trail, FKT, down in Ohiopyle, Pennsylvania. Heading home now from attempting it. I got it today. The old record was 1 hour, 4 minutes, 5 seconds, and I was 53:41 was my time. So 10 minutes and 24 seconds faster than the previous FKT by one of my friends. Never been on the trail before. Well, all right, I'll say, when I say never, I was only ever at the Baugman, I think it's how you say it, Baugman. Went to the overlook. They have like this nice overlook that people, when they visit Ohiopyle, and go and see. It's a nice scenic overlook. That was the only time I've been on that trail. Like maybe 50 yards on either side of that overlook, but you drive up to it through Ohiopyle. So besides that, like 50 yards either way from the overlook, I was never on the trail itself. So I had no idea what to expect. So I was going in blind. I did download the GPX file. I just knew it had the climbs in the beginning half of the race, and then it leveled off. At least it looked like it leveled off some, and then the last 2 miles were going to be downhill. So I had to like try harder in the first half and then relax more on the second half if possible. But that was also dependent on the terrain, so who knows. I was looking at it for a couple days now on the FKT site. Didn't know when I was going to attempt it, but I knew eventually I was going to this year, 2024. Today's actually February 12th, for reference purposes. I was looking last night, so it would have been the 11th after the Super Bowl. I was like, if I wake up in time, get rested enough today, I'll go down. I had it on my watch already. So, woke up, ate breakfast, went back to bed. Around 2 o'clock, when I woke back up, I was like, it's still sort of nice out. This is going to be like the last nice day this week. So I was like, fuck it, we'll just go down and attempt to see what happens. Got there around 3:30, 3:35. I think I got there, we'll say 3:30, because I started around, I think Garmin has me at 3:36, so I was there like 10 minutes beforehand, 5-10 minutes beforehand, just enough to change shoes and do a very, very light stretch. I love Ohiopyle. I go there a couple of times a year just to hang out, because there's just so many people down there, and it's just a fun atmosphere, seeing everybody actually out exercising, enjoying life, instead of sitting on their ass watching TV, being lazy. But anyway, you park up by the train station area, and you start. There's a boaters only beyond this point sign. There's still a parking lot beyond that sign, but that's for like the people like kayaking and boating and stuff. So you're not supposed to park there at all if you're just gonna like run the trails or play around the Ohiopyle State Park in general, because that way it leaves enough room for people with like trailers and shit, you know, to take in and take out their kayaks and boats and whitewater rafts. So I changed my shoes, got my stuff ready. I carried my naked belt. I had my headlamp on me, my phone. I just took like 9 ounces of noon caffeine. I think I had gloves in my pocket too. I wore 2XU calf shorts, compression shorts, I mean. Then I had some shorts over top, and I just had like a long sleeve shirt. I started out with a gaiter, and then I had my one hat on. I didn't wear the gloves. I had calf sleeves on. I was wearing my Paragon 12s, I think is what mine are, that I wore today. Whatever the newest version is, I can't remember. It was like 12 or 15s. So I was wearing them, and I feel good. I usually run pretty fast in those because they're a lighter shoe, plus grip wise. Did a little stretch, definitely not enough stretching. I'll get to that in a second. Had a piss. I tried to go to Ferncliff when I first arrived, where there's usually porta johns. There was none today, so I just had to. I'm not gonna say I did, but I might have had to piss twice right beside the vehicle before I started. There's nobody around. I didn't know where the bathrooms were that were gonna be open, so I had to go somewhere. So just open the car doors. So I sort of parked at the end of the parking lot there near the sign, so I didn't have to walk as far. You're supposed to touch the sign as you start. You'll see it. I made a couple clips throughout the FKT. I did it when I started to make sure I could show people I was touching it, showed people I was actually on the road. I don't know if it's whatever road that is up there at the turnaround point, and then a clip at the actual like Baugman overlook, like me touching it, so that way there's no question I was actually at. There's like 3 specific spots, and then as I finished, I have another clip of me touching the sign again, just so there's no question I did the whole thing. Because you know how those haters are. So it starts out, you touch the sign, and there's like just a quick little asphalt section till you hit the gap trail, because it's through the parking lot. And then they say it's like a couple 100 yards before you see a little sign that says Baughman and Sugarloaf Trails. I don't know how actual far it is. It might be 100 yards. I don't think it's a couple. Once you hit the gap trail, whatever the case may be. But as soon as you see that trail marker with like which way the trail goes, you make a quick left onto Baughman. If you make the other, I don't know if it's straight or right. I don't know. Got a hair in my mouth. Takes you to like Sugarloaf, so I was staying on Baughman, so I had to make that quick left. Like, it's literally a quick left. Like, as soon as you see that trail marker, take a couple feet, and it's directly like a quick left. Then you're on that trail the rest of the way. It wasn't too terribly bad in the beginning. I mean, it's all runnable if you're a good trail runner. It's just a little steep. That first 2 miles has got like the 900 feet of gain, 900 plus in that first 1.9 miles before it levels out. As I'm going, like I was like, all right, this ain't bad. And then quickly there becomes like a set of steps. Maybe like 2 little sets of steps, just like 4 or 5 total, I think is what it was. And then you're still going uphill. It does level off a little bit, but right away, since I didn't warm up enough, the incline, I was just like, oh, this is gonna suck. Because when I looked at the GPX file, it looked like it was like basically a straight up nice incline the whole time, but it does level off in some spots. But we'll just say like the first couple attempts, it was like nice upper, steeper incline. I was like, oh shit, if it's like this the whole way for that first 1.9 miles, my legs are just gonna blow up, because I'm definitely just not in shape. And my body went from like nice and cool to like red line like very quickly, even though as I said, it was 47 degrees when I pulled in. I don't know if I said the temperature already, but it was 47 degrees when I pulled into the parking lot, which to me is this time of year perfect for February 11th. When you get used to running in the cold temperatures, like this feels like nice and not hot, but nice and chill. Like if we start redlining, it's just going to keep you cool. So I was looking forward to that. So if you're like running hot, the temperatures are going to keep you cool until you actually stop and slow down. Or if you're just hiking or jogging, you might get a little bit cold. Or with running in the woods, it might be a little bit cooler, but I think it was a perfect temperature today for me to attempt this. Plus it was a dry course. There was no snow, no ice on the course at all. There was a few wet spots, which you're always going to have that no matter what time of year. So I don't have any of those kind of issues. Very thankful for that. it wasn't actually hard to navigate at all. The trails, I don't want to say it was pretty worn, but you could definitely tell, at least this time of year, where you're supposed to run. Maybe if in the spring or summer or something where there's more green, might have been a little bit harder. But right now it was worn enough where you could actually see where you're going. You didn't have to second guess it at all. And I didn't really see, there was a few markers on the trees, but there wasn't abundant, or they didn't stand out a hell of a lot. I did notice there was some like red on the trees, but they're just like more like splotches or spots on the trees, like red spots. They weren't your typical like 4x6 markers, and they really didn't stand out a lot with the red. The red was kind of worn on a lot of the trees. So thankfully, like I said, like you could read the trail very well, and you knew where you were going. At least I knew where I could tell where I was going. Even though I had the GPX file, I did use it a little bit just to make sure on the way out. I'd glance at it, but I was pretty much confident where I was going. So I'm happy with that. There might have been like one or two jagger bushes still hanging over the trail, but it seemed like it was pretty much cut back the whole time. But it was nice that the inclines did level out after a while, and you weren't doing that like full 800-900 feet of gain straight up without it leveling off for like a 40-50 yard period, so you could recover. Again, my legs would have blown up otherwise. I knew it and I felt it right away. But it is very, very runnable. I did have to walk 2 or 3 times on the way out just because it was like the steep part of the hills, and I felt my legs starting to burn a little bit. So I was like, save yourself now. Don't blow your legs up now, because A, you don't know what's coming, and B, on the way back you're running downhill. So regain that time you lost just by saving 10 seconds now. So like I walked maybe like 10 seconds each of those 2 or 3 times. I'd have to look and see what my watch says, how many times actually my pace slowed. So that's why I did that. Playing it smart. And I choose more of like a rockier section too. There's not much to see really along the trail. I'm sure in the summer it looks more beautiful than it did until you get past Baugman's. Then there's some kind of like, you're running around like a rock ledge like you do a couple times in the Long Highlands hiking trail. So that was cool. I did enjoy that. I was gonna get a clip of that, but by the time I got my phone back out and started trying to do it, I was already past them. That's just like right after Baughman. There's really no declines until you get to Baughman overlook. But again, that first like 1.9 miles, 2 miles is, even though it's uphill, it's runnable. Then like when you get to the overlook part, like it is more flatter. And once you passed it, there is 2 little declines, maybe like 50 to 70 feet each time. So it did give you a good mix, but you knew on the way back you had to go up them. There was 2 little wooden bridges near the end. I would say maybe like, first one was I think maybe like 3/10 before the road, and the other one was like a 1/10 before the road. Something nice just to mix up the trail a little bit. They're just like an 8-foot bridge across, just like a spring. Nothing major to write home about. They had some mud cover over them, like a couple inches of mud, like over half of them. So you just got to be careful you don't slip off the bridge or twist an ankle when you get on those. It is also like a mountain bike trail, I think. So I did see some ruts, so I think mountain bikers do use the trail. So you got to be cognizant of that in the summer months when people are out riding and mountain biking. If you're wearing headphones, which I was today, there was nobody on the trail that I saw. You do run the road to get up to the Baughman overlook. Once you're up top, you are near it. a couple of times, like you're right off the road, so cars could see you because you're maybe 30 yards off the trail, and I would say you're never really too far from any road. I'd have to look at the map more, but so if you get lost and you just pull up your Garmin watch, you'll be able to get somewhere safely or something happens. I don't know. I did like the top half better than the first 2 miles. It's that last like 1.2 out, like when I hit where it leveled off and hit the overlook / to the road. For some reason, I like that section a lot better, and it just rejuvenated me. I don't know if because my legs recovered, but I just felt like I was getting into that running zone. So I rode that wave the rest of the way. I'm trying to think here. What else to tell everybody? But yeah, so I knew I was coming out to the road because I could see it like starting to twist. I got my phone back out and took a clip of me actually standing on the road. I took a picture. I don't know how well they came out because I was doing it via clip. Hit the camera button so that way there's evidence of me actually standing both feet, because you're supposed to have both feet on the road according to the FKT write-up. Not that that's a big deal. Instead of just trying to tap it and go out, you might lose a second, but whatever. I took pictures. The way I tried to take pictures was looking both ways up and down the road, so people have like a reference like where it comes out at, or that I was actually in the right spot. Then I just turned around and ran. I just felt like energized that second half, like heading home. I mean, I knew it was going to be theoretically easier on the way back because it was more downhill. Like, you know, that 800 plus that I went up, I was going to have to run down it. And I got those two little, like 50 to 70 foot climbs also on the way back, but they were more like speed bumps than anything. I just flew right up them. I didn't have to walk or do anything to slow me really down on the way back. I just rode that wave. Like, I'm looking at my watch and I'm doing like, at one point, I think it was like in the 6s. And I know a lot of times I was looking at my watch and I'm hitting like 7-minute pace. I'm like, hell yeah. It's like doing a trail, being out of shape, running this. I was like, it's fucking amazing. Like having that, like I was flying like a lot faster than I did. It was more like midsummer race pace today. And I was just zoned in, having a good time. So I really enjoyed this FKT attempt. Then I got my phone back out as I came to the Baugman overlook, so that way I could try to take a picture of me actually touching the railing, because you're supposed to touch the railing at the overlook, and have a clip of me touching it so I have evidence of that. And I actually went to the very, it just says touch the fencing, but I actually went up to the very end of the Baugman, like where people look out at, and not just the beginning fencing. Just so there's no question I was at the very end. I don't know. I think that's how you're supposed to do it, and not just the beginning, but I went to the very end of the overlook and touched the fencing. I know I lost like 20 seconds there, you know, making sure I got pictures and evidence. And I just took off from there, kept my phone in my belt the rest of the way. I just felt good. I even, like, the running downhill, I felt good. Tried not to slip in the wet spots. Yeah, I just kept looking at my watch. I put it, instead of like the map on the way back, I had it more on the mileage, like how far I've gone, and not to count down how much I got left. I was doing math in my head. I know at like one point I was like, well, all right, from what I remember in the one clip, I had, we'll say 28 and a half was my time when I hit the road. I was like, all right, I was expecting, you know, as long as I was under 32 minutes when I hit the road, I was confident I was going to be able to maintain and beat that time on the way back, because the time was an hour and 4 minutes I needed to beat. So I was thinking 32 minutes at that road. I was like, theoretically, I got in the bag. I didn't want to be too confident or cocky, but I was like, as long as I'm there by 32 minutes, I should be able to get the FKT, because it should be easier on the way back. So when I hit it at 28 and a half, what was that? 3.5 minutes, at least I knew I had for the way back. Because actually, what I was figuring, I'll get to this, I should have got to it earlier. I needed to do like a 10:30, 10:40 pace, I think, per mile. I don't know, because it ended up being 6.5 miles roughly. I think that's 6.46, and the FKT says 6.2, but it could be anywhere from 6.09 to 6.5. But I just went with a 10K pace, so I was thinking 10 and a half is what I needed to stay under 10:40 to beat the record. So if it was 6.5, it should have been a little bit lower. So would have been like a 9:40, I don't know. I'd have to do the math again. So an hour and 4 minutes, if it was 6.5, that means I would have had to have done, we'll just call it a 6:40, 6:50 pace overall. Or, I mean, a 9:49.50 pace for the 6.5 miles to give me the hour and 4 minutes. Wish I would have known that more, because I was, like, the first 2 miles, when I hit like 8 or 9 minutes, or under 10 minutes, I was like, all right, I got more time than I thought. But now looking back, I actually didn't have as much as I was assuming, because when I hit the halfway point at 28, there was only 3.5 minutes, and I was, well, whatever. Now I'm confusing myself, and I probably confused everybody else. But anyway, at the halfway point, I was like 28 and a half, roughly. So I was just shooting for 32 minutes again on the way back, or under, and that would have gave me like a 4-minute cushion. Because actually I was going for not an hour and 4 minutes, I was actually going for an hour. So realistically, I had a minute and a half at the turnaround from my goal. Because I figured an hour and 4 minutes is like, we'll just shoot for an hour instead of that hour and 4. Because you don't want to shoot for an hour and 4, because then if something happens, you know, you don't want it to be tight. You don't want to just shoot for an hour and 4. You want to set the goal a little bit shorter, so if you have to walk or, you know, sneeze or piss real quick, you know, you're still under that pace. Anyway, and I know, like, I think a mile and a half, 1.7, I think I figured left. I had like 19 minutes. I was like, woo, oh God, you know, it's like feeling good, looking good. I know that at one point it was like 23 minutes, 19 and 17 and stuff. Those numbers just keep popping in my head when I was looking at my watch for that hour mark, with under 2 miles to go. And I was confident I was going to get it unless I tripped and fell or did something stupid. And just time kept ticking away, and the mileage kept ticking off. As I said, I got it under in 10 minutes and 24 seconds is what I beat the FKT time, which is, I think it's impressive for being out of shape, and not knowing the course and how to attack it, and then having make some clips and pictures as I did it. So we'll just say I could have knocked another 3 to 5 off easily if I was really peaking in shape and I didn't have to worry about taking pictures of clips. I definitely took another 3 to 5 off, but I'm happy with my 1024. I know in the downhills I was a little bit more cautious than I needed to, but I knew I was under the mark of the FKT, and I didn't want to screw it up. Plus, being February, I don't want to get hurt. So that's why I was just a tad cautious, but not too much. But I was sort of riding the wave because I knew I had it, like that last mile and a half. So I was getting excited while running that runner's high feeling. And as I came in, I could see the gap trail a little bit. I was just getting excited, starting to smile, and it just made me run better. And then as I was coming off the trail itself and hitting like the gap to finish that last 10th or so, I started videoing. Might have did it a little bit earlier. I think I even said it in the one clip that I made. I started the clip a little bit earlier because I think it was like 2 minutes long. But I just wanted to show people I was actually coming in, and then people showing people that actually touched the sign. That way there's no question about it. So I did that, took a couple pictures. But I don't know, overall I thought it was a fun FKT. Glad I attempted it. I'm gonna have to get back down there and try some more. But always gotta watch for snakes on that trail because I think it would be a little bit snaky in the spring/summer times. Some of those spots. But I think it's a good route. I'm glad Bryn made it. Because otherwise I never would have been on the trail or really knew about it for maybe years down the road. But check it out. Now, I guess that's my long version of the Baugman FKT that I did today. Crushed it by 10 minutes and 24 seconds, and still think I left some time out there. So check out the trail. Be a nice training trail to begin with, because you can branch off and do some other loops and hit some other trails out there as well. Have a nice afternoon or morning, depending on what time you run. Get some good training miles in. Plus, gotta visit Ohiopyle. Ohiopyle is just such a fun place, whether you're biking the Gap Trail or running the Lower Highlands hiking trail. Can't go wrong. Alright, I'm out here at Ohiopyle. I'm gonna try for the Baughman or Bergman, whatever it is, FKT, the 6.2 mile one, like the 10K version. Never been on the trail, so I have no idea what to expect. Looks like it's uphill for 2 miles. Levels off for a mile until I hit the road, and then you turn around and come back, so it's an out and back. This is the sign. Get myself in it, make it more official. That's where we're supposed to start, right there. I'm gonna walk back towards my car before I hit the sign and start my watch. But it's like February 12th, around 3:30. Hopefully I have enough daylight. Well, I know I'm gonna have enough daylight to do it, but hopefully I don't get lost or something, because I only got like an hour and a half, 2 hours of daylight left. So whatever, just wanted to check in and show you I'm actually here. I might try to take pictures depending on my pace. At the overlook where you're supposed to touch a fence and the road, I might try to take a picture, a quick clip up there, but we'll see how the conditions are and what my pace is. I got an hour and 4 minutes to do like the 10K. Again, I've never been on the trail, so it's probably going to be very tight if I even get it at all. So we'll see. Coming up on the turnaround for the Baugman FKT right now. right, that's your turnaround. I got 28.5 minutes, 3.18 miles. So we'll see. 984 up, 186 down. So let's see if I can keep pace. Whew. Fuck yeah, buddy. All right, I'm coming up on the Baugman overlook to touch. Whew. He'll be here in a second. There's your parking lot. There's your Baugman outlook. Gotta go touch the fence. Whew. Hands on it. Got the view. Hands on it again. Take a picture. Yeah. All right, now I gotta get going. Whew. Time wasted taking pictures of videos. I'm 4.2 in, 37.5 minutes. So I got 27 minutes to do like 2 miles. So maybe a little more, I don't know. We'll see. Woo! All right, I'm coming to the end. I got about a 10th left. Getting ready to hit the parking lot. Just coming off Baugman for the FKT. Did you see? I'm sprinting up. Whew. Right now I'm ahead by like 12 minutes. Whew. Fuck. Let's go, let's go, let's go, buddy. Woo! Yeah. Gonna get it. I made to start the video a little early, but whatever. Whew. Whew. I was a little tiring on the way out. It wasn't bad on the way back. But fuck. Leg's definitely a little tired. You are gonna get like 6.5. Fucking did it. Whew. All right. .46, 53:40. So that's a little over 11 minutes off the FKT currently. So fuck yeah. Whew. Oh. Go back and take a picture when I'm done here. Whew. That was a pretty good workout. Take a picture. There's my sweaty face. I did it. All right, I'm gonna start this and do a recap. Whew, when I did it, FKT on the Baugman, lower, upper trail past the view, overlook, whatever you call it. Got it done. Whew.